Okay, that's all I need you.
Okay. That's okay, I got questions for you. We have a first one. Yes. Yes. And then I love the chairs and all that. Relax and reset. Yes, reset button. There you go. Yeah. Oh, they look beautiful.
Yeah. That is first time. Yeah. So she did say, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Got a lot.
Yes, there's a reason. So I don't know, I think they just did.
Yeah.
When he started
4 or 5.
I sent her a message.
That could be.
It's pretty awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call to order the City Council regular meeting for Monday, June 9th, 2025. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mayor King,
Present.
Councilwoman Niner,
Present.
Councilwoman Newberry,
Here.
Councilwoman Emo,
Here.
Councilwoman Dewar.
All right. Quorum being present, as everyone has had an opportunity to look at the agenda, are there any objections to the agenda as presented? Hearing no objections, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Everyone has had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. Are there any objections? About something not on the agenda? If you would, you can step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Really quick. Carla Murray, 300 North Campbell Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri. I am two things. First thing is Don was going to be here tonight and he got stuck somewhere. So let everybody know that Saturday morning at 8:30 we partnered, Downtown Pleasant Hill partnered with the Masons because the Masons wanted some help replacing the benches that they've supplied around the Memorial Building. So Saturday morning at 8:30, we'll be replacing those benches. We've got volunteers, everybody signed up. All the materials are ready, stained, we're ready to go. So that'll be happening Saturday morning. A section of Gray's lot today and put some straw down. It's not a big spot, but it's enough that we felt like we needed to do that. So I want you guys to know that we did do that. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I had a picture and a phone call by 7:30.
About the
About the mud
mud
hole.
Yeah, there was some people hanging out taking, doing that, but it's same old.
I didn't know if that was from the rain or from that.
Well, it was really muddy to begin with.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain.
But it's taken care of.
All right, anyone else?
John Minningham, 203rd Street. Just want to remind everybody, tomorrow morning is the VFW's Coffee with the Cop from 8 to 10.
For Saturday, June 28th, from 8 to 10 p.m., a fireworks display.
Do I need to speak to that?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
I mean, we've done this a time or two already, so.
Yeah, we've never had to do, we've done this is the 6th year, and they mentioned that we probably should come and meet you guys, so wanted to let you know what we're doing. This will be our 6th year doing that. I think we skipped the year of COVID. Nice community event that we, in fact, John Mooney is part of our organization, but we invite our clients, and we do have a lot of community fun. In the evening, and then pretty much out of there by 10 o'clock.
All right. Any questions from council?
Do we need to let the public know that there's gonna be fireworks that evening?
Yes.
I would say, Mayor, if, I had told them that if it's approved this evening, then yes, we would include that in some sort of communication that goes out that there will be fireworks that evening.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion on the special events application as presented?
For Saturday, June 28th.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes. I have a question. Brenda's on her way.
Okay,
She had an emergency come up.
okay.
Would anyone have an objection if I just put her on speaker to listen to what's going on until she gets here?
You can do that.
Does
Yeah, she
anyone
just-
object to that?
She can't vote in the meantime,
Right.
but to listen, sure.
Hey Brenda, you're on speaker with the whole city. You can't vote, but we'll put you on speaker till you get here. Shelter project.
Thank you, Mayor. So the council is aware that we have previously issued a design build contract to Monarch Build for the animal shelter. It's a $2.8 million project and contract we already have with Monarch Build. But as part of that, they do what they call a buyout of subcontracts. So they've gone out and they've solicited who their subcontractors are going to be for a whole bunch of different packages. And so there were 15 packages that were under $50,000. But there were 12 packages that exceeded $50,000. They really don't have an obligation to come back to the council for those approvals, but since our purchasing policy is usually at that $50,000 threshold, we wanted to make sure that you guys knew that they did their due diligence. Bid on all but 3 categories. And in those 3 categories, plumbing, HVAC, and framing and drywall, they took the second lowest bid, and that was typically due to needing, some of them wanted to bundle all of their packages together in order to get that pricing. Some of them they've had previous issues with that contractor. So there are those. Then additionally, there were two in which they were unable to get 3 bids for that pricing. One of those is on kennels and equipment, and it's really just due to the limited nature of buying that type of equipment. They did receive 2 on steel, just the scope of it wasn't really big enough for them to get enough bidders on it. I recommend that we approve the buyout of the animal shelter contracts and allow the design builder to proceed. Do you guys have any questions about any of these?
Paul staying with the budget and everything?
Yeah, so ultimately, there was a design contingency that was added to this budget. Their pricing came back enough that they've basically eaten up the entire design contingency, but additionally, there is a construction contingency too. So it's not that we are completely out of money, but yes, they are effectively.
That design contingency was intended for scope growth because when we bought it, the drawings are about 30% complete. As you start to develop it,
I know you probably couldn't hear everything.
I didn't hear everything, but I read it, so I know what's going on.
Any comments from the public? What do you need from us tonight, Shelby?
So I would ask for, did I have a resolution? Nikki's gonna look if I had a resolution with it.
Do I have a motion on the buyout package for the animal shelter project?
I'll make a motion for the consideration of the buyout package for the animal shelter.
I'll second.
Was that a motion to approve it?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I just needed to clarify. All right, so I have a motion to approve the buyout package for the animal shelter as presented. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Sure.
Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Newberry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo,
Yes.
All right, it passes. Next item is bill number 25-18, an ordinance amending the fee schedule regarding solid waste customer charges.
Okay, thank you, council. I'm gonna give you a little background information on this bill. Actually 25-18, an ordinance amending the fee schedule regarding solid waste customer charges. Constable Sanitation contract states that we will use the consumer price index for garbage and trash collections to determine a yearly increase. Based on this year's CPI, they are proposing a rate increase to their customers. The CPI solid waste increase is 5.1%. Constable would like to increase trash and recycling at a 3%. The proposed increase for contracted trash service would increase it 47 cents. This would increase your customer's monthly trash bill, which includes an administrative fee and a cart fee, from $19.04 to $19.51 per month. The proposed
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. Am I loud enough or Brenda to hear me all right, or do I need to speak
You're good.
up? Okay. I know, as far as the trash goes, Shannon was here last year, so she sent me instead. I talked a little bit more about the program. The solid waste CPI is something that kind of takes place every year with the trash. Unfortunately, it's always been something that's gone up. That's a little bit due to the nature of the bidding business. So it's, what our costs are here locally. And we measure it against, our own increases and go from there. So we don't try to just carry over the national, because there's some things that are tied to that might not be taking place here in the mid-states. So that takes forward, and as far as the trash program in Pleasant Hill, the first couple of years, it got several tweaks. I'm kind of what they say trash eccentric, as I really look at it and try to figure out a system that kicks out a consistent result. Probably last year, the worst trash event that took place was we had a particular truck that, if it wasn't used delicately, it tore off some trash cans, and we didn't know it primarily affected a trash can that was the Millennium Auto trash can, which was your model, which is any offset arm affected it, and we were able to sell that truck, so at least we're past that, and replace it with a different unit that's a little bit more cart friendly in those aspects. I would still like to see participation, and that's something too that we try to look at to make sure that our programs are being used. We have the trash, which we know is going to be 99.9%. Then you look at the yard waste, which has, slowly increased over the years. None of the programs that went down. Bulk is being used. Recycling has only added more carts since day one. So that's really good, because, I want those, if those are offered inside of a program, I want to make sure that they're used and not go stale. And that's really probably past trash, future trash coming up. I know we're coming up on the 4th of July, and that holiday is a holiday we're actually going to be running. It lands on Friday this year. Our recycling plant is closed the next day, and on trash and recycling first, then yard waste. I know Halloween kind of has a trash man's tight window. You can only have those trucks with the kids running around the neighborhoods up until a certain point where it becomes a safety item. So we look at that, get the trash knocked out first and early. Into, with us running that day, if we chose to run Saturday, it would have been tough to get employees in. We wouldn't have been able to get recycling to the right spot. And I don't know if anyone would love us rolling down the street at 7:30 in the morning, on a Saturday after the 4th to get their trash can out. So, it was going to have some we will get to a point where you know, most people know, and we're typically pretty easy to deal with on any type of miscollections. You know, we're always in the area, so we kind of just send a truck by anyway. But if you have any questions specific to the trash program, you know, kind of that outlook, just let me know. Thank you.
Any questions from council? I have a couple questions.
All right.
So, just so that people understand, how is our fee determined compared to other cities that you pick up? Is it identical? How do you come up?
Got families percentage with 18 and under at a house, single percentage of living alone, and those kind of determine, as far as trash wise, depending on what your source is, they'll say a human person generates 4 to 7 pounds a day. And with those numbers too, you can kind of bake it down to what you're gonna see on a weekly, you know, pounds per household type of deal. And Pleasant Hill too, I mean, it is a suburb outside of Kansas City that is very nice to live in, and people come out here to raise their families. On it as well. Your trash is probably a little bit higher too, just based on more people eat in their home here versus an area where someone might DoorDash 1,000 different things. But then bulk actually goes down. Bulk can be retail driven. Out in Kansas, you can see areas have a little bit more bulk because they got bored on a Saturday and went to Nebraska Furniture Mart. Pleasant Hill is a community that doesn't necessarily have that right there in their backyard where they're just bored shopping one day and decide to get a new TV. They wait for theirs to break. So there's kind of some factors too that drive the other number. Sun and water, so those are typically your areas where you'll see grass bag, April, May, June, where more downtown, bigger maples, bigger oaks, you see a larger supply of the leaf bags.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Before we consider this bill, is there anyone from the public that would like to comment? All right, Brenda.
Bill number 25-18, an ordinance amending the fee schedule regarding solid waste customer charges.
I second.
Have a motion and a second on bill number 25-18, an ordinance amending fee schedule regarding solid waste customer charges. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Certainly, Mayor, and I just want to clarify with Amy, if I can, that the ordinance also is reflective then of the budget amendment that allocates the increase, and that, is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna make that a separate.
Oh, it is a separate,
item.
okay, I apologize.
No, that's fine, once they approve this, or if they approve.
Okay, so for bill number 25-18, Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
change.
Okay, with that budget amendment, since you approved it, the proposed rate increases, constable will change the city's budget expenses and revenue by about $5,200. I did have in there anticipated a 2% increase already, but with this approval, it will increase our budget by $5,200. That's what the budget amendment's for, the 2026-02.
Do I have any questions on the budget amendment 2026-02?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment number 2026-02, solid waste rate change.
I'll second.
Budget amendment passes. Next item is a discussion on the Mid-America Regional Council Household Hazardous Waste Program.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to start this, but we do have Dr. Carpolo with the Mid-America Regional Council here to also talk about the program. So the city has been a long participant in the Household Hazardous Waste Program, but ended our participation in 2018. NADRA reached out because they do have mobile drop-off events throughout the year and they continue their program even if we're not a member. And earlier this year, there was a drop-off event in Harrisonville. And historically, we would hold 1 year in Pleasant Hill, 1 year in Harrisonville, and our residents were not on the council that decided to change that decision and not be a participant. And so I just wanted to bring awareness to what the program is for your consideration of whether you want to incur the expense into the future, whether it's this year or next year for participation in the program. Just kind of on average, the City of Pleasant Hill's contribution towards that program is just shy of $10,000 annually. So, Najee, go ahead.
Great. Good evening. Yes, my name is Nadja, and I am a solid waste planner with the Mark Solid Waste Management District, and I have been coordinator of the Household Hazardous Waste Program for over 25 years. And then, as Shelby mentioned, dropped out in 2018. So what does it mean to be a member, and what is this program? So the way the program is for residents to drop off their old household hazardous waste. The most common material we see is paint. I bet everyone in here has old paint sitting around. And the only way to safely dispose of latex paint is to dry it out, and you can put it in the trash. That is legal, however, it's inconvenient. You cannot put oil-based paint in the trash. You cannot put motor oil, gasoline, W9, all kinds of most recent population estimates is how we determine that price. And then that gives residents year-round access to the program. It's not just the event in your county or in your hometown. You can go to any of the events, even if it's not in Cass County. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the brochure for 2025 so you can see all the list of the community, the services. We have about 33 communities in the program. Cass County is not a member, so that's one of the challenges. Like in Harrisonville, we had to turn away not only Pleasant Hill residents, any of the events, we have about 11 each year. Pleasant Hill residents have been using the Lee Summit facility, which is, for non-residents, they pay a fee. So it's $2 a pound. So in 2024, there were 32 cars from Pleasant Hill that attended, and they brought about 2,000 pounds, so that cost about $4,000 in total for those residents. So what else? So yes, when Cass County was a member, oftentimes Pleasant Hill and Cass County would share, the volunteers and the coordination, and we would have it at the fairgrounds. So around access to the program. So it's really available year-round. We don't need to make an appointment anymore for the facility. The mobiles are really popular, but it's only a 4-hour window. So we do a lot of one-on-one education that everybody comes through that says, this is not the only opportunity. You have year-round access. You don't have to hang on to your flammables or whatever. And there are other options. So the events are great in terms of doing the education. And then also for the event, we do advertising. We pay for the advertising. We pay for the brochures. Every member community gets a stack of those brochures or however many they need. And so we definitely encourage local governments to encourage their residents to use the program, have it on the most out of it. So, yeah. Any questions?
No, I was gonna ask how they verified where you were at, but I see that's in here, so.
All right, thank you. So, is the only member of council that was here when we did this. At the time we did it, first of all, I'll say we did it against the advice. We discontinued it against the advice of Shelby. She said we should stay.
Not just me, there were others. No,
None
there
of
were
them are
others.
here either.
What?
None of them are here.
Amy's still here.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Amy.
And we're usually the ones that were coordinating it. No, so at So there's the paint being the largest piece of it. And so that was really the decision. But yeah, we said, we still like the program, just because we know that people utilize it. At the time, Nadja kind of hit it, that the service is available to people at all the times, but at that time I had gone through and said, what is the utilization? And on those mobile events, especially if the mobile event is held in Pleasant Hill, we were generating about 20,000 pounds of waste per year that we know was being disposed of in the proper manner. So it does get utilized, especially when it's here.
And that's of no additional cost to us.
If
cost, but there's no extra member cost.
I was just thinking of the pounds of waste that you were talking about.
No, right.
Kylie did note that annually we do get comments on social media saying, what happened to household hazardous waste? Some people are still very used to it. So.
And if I could just say that latex paint, yes, a lot of people know that they can dry it up and put it in their landfill. But as you know, landfill space is precious, having lived so close to the proposed landfill. So it really is a responsibility that we have to keep as much as we can.
I think what is it per pound if you don't belong to it?
$2.
$2.
So like a 5-gallon can of paint
It's 10
is
bucks.
$10. So
Right.
I thought it was a great, when I looked at it like that, I thought, well, that's a great deal. When it was open to all the citizens, so I thought it was good.
It's really a great deal when you have 5 cans of paint right now sitting open in your shed trying to get it dried out. And I've been buying cat litter trying to pour it in to get it dried out.
Right. And another consideration, so like mercury, we accept mercury. Now, mercury doesn't weigh very much, but it's dangerous, and we accept it in the program. So you don't want to weigh everything necessarily by how much it weighs. And yes, paint is the most common material, but there's a lot of other stuff out there. Around, and you know, if you have pets or kids or, you know, it's just the right thing to do to safely dispose it.
But you don't do anything with electronics?
That is correct. It is not considered household hazardous waste, and there are other programs that, which I would be happy to share sometime, yeah.
Yeah,
For
so,
sure.
so Pat, on electronics, yeah, Nacho's right, that is a different program, but, the Cass County, has like a sustainability committee, and they, I think it's annually, or maybe every other year, host an electronic drop-off as well, that we can utilize free of charge. Well, I think that one does have separate pricing based on what it is.
Now here on the cover sheet, it says for 2025, $9,807.27. Is this what we want to do for this year? Do we?
That
We have an event in Raymore next week.
Would you have to do a budget amendment, or can we just approve it
I
tonight?
mean, you can approve it tonight, and we can shore up the budget amendment later, that's not a big deal.
Any further discussion?
My thoughts is to wait till next year and put it in the budget. That's just my thoughts, but.
I mean, technically, we would sign up still within this budget, but it would just be, in theory, we would have 2 in this budget, really. So it would be double that cost in the fiscal year 2026.
So if we did it tonight, would people have access to it before January 1?
Yes.
Okay. I got confused there for a minute.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute.
But if we do it tonight, would they be able to go to the Raymore one next week or whenever she said it was?
Yeah, the
Yes.
14th. Yeah, this Saturday. I mean, I think if you guys approved it, then I would, you know, send Shelby the agreement and you guys could sign it and send it. Yeah, you could get it done in a week, in less than a week. And I think if you guys approve it today, I don't get signed.
Yeah. I would be okay with 2026 starting at January 1st,
I would too.
but I don't want to pay full price when we're already halfway through the year. My thoughts. I'll second that thought. Thanks, Brenda.
I just want to make sure we're clear. If we approve to do it for 2020, All right, so do I have before I do that, is there anyone from the public that would like to make comment on the hazardous waste collection?
I'm willing to pay my $2.26 or $5.32 right now if you want both years.
I would just say, like, I honestly, listening to all this, if they did $20,000 of a dump 7 years ago and only 4,000 made it to Lee Summit, where's the other 16,000 been going? Should be concerned about that, into the ground. And it doesn't matter, I would think it doesn't matter that you're halfway through the year. People are still holding on to that stuff. What's it matter? It's not like you're buying a subscription to something. People in Harrisonville. Well, I guess they were turned away, or some of them were. My husband apparently got us off because he got through.
You know, it's difficult because people are doing the right thing, and they're coming, and they're loading the car, and they're taking the time, but it just, I mean, we have so many people, and it costs, you know, it's not cheap to throw away this kind of stuff, so it was tough. I don't know how, you know, I've asked people, how did you guys find out about this? Oh, Facebook, oh, Pleasant Hills, you know, put it out there, so.
If it was, we were just talking, I should say, clarify that. And I was like, that's a great question, so I'm gonna speak up. Not to steal her question.
No, you go right
But
ahead.
if we could have half a year, if the program could facilitate to the taxpayer of the city's responsibility of balancing out the accountability they have to budgeting through the taxpayer's money as, you know, the best of both worlds. Usually the answer's in the middle. I think that would, you know, possibly, John, in council, that could eliminate what would be a very legitimate concern where, you know, basically we're getting a membership that 6 months.
They approve that exception, then there you go, but I can't make that decision.
I have a question for clarification. I'll do what I should do here, sorry. Carla Murray, 300 North County Street. I have a question for clarification, and that is that if it's the city of Pleasant Hill joining it, do the people who live outside of city limits with the Pleasant Hill address, will they benefit from this as well? I would hope, but they will not. So this will only be which is probably going to cause some confusion and some hurt feelings. I'm just throwing that out there.
And that's what used to
I would
happen.
say, if you know people in the county, you want to talk to them and say, you know, this is a really, you know, they've been in the program before, they know about it. You know, talk to them and see if they'd be willing to join as well, to create a more seamless program.
Okay, let's take two roads here. Is everybody want to join it for next year?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to Pleasant Hill to rejoin the Mid-America Regional's Hazardous Waste Program for 2026?
Hey, Mayor, actually, we don't even have to do that yet. I will present that agreement to you guys whenever it comes up.
Okay. So then
Put that on the agenda.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy to do that.
And then we will bring it back then. All right, any other questions from council? All right.
Thank you.
Next item is the 2025 Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Mr. Mayor, Council, this has nothing to do with solid waste. This is a regional response to hazards within our community. This was a 5-county effort. It's done every 5 years. This was Jackson, Platte, Clay, Ray, and Cass. Inside that, there's 36 cities that participate. I'm going to ask you to approve our participation in this. It is completed. By doing this, we worked amongst ourselves as well as the Mid-America Regional Council and FEMA. By doing this, and this covers things from response to tornadoes and storms, hazardous weather. It covers floodplain planning. A lot of these things we already have ordinances. Somebody's not just going to build a structure in a floodplain here in Pleasant Hill. So a lot of this is continuations from 2015, 2020, and continuing on to 2025. The only real change in this plan is for involves floodplains, flooding on our roads, and our response to storms and tornadoes. So I'd ask that you, if you've reviewed this, to consider passing this tonight and making us a participant, which could potentially make us eligible for some grants later on as well.
Questions from council? Is there a fee associated, Chief?
There is no fee associated. Only if we have obviously if we have some kind of storm roll through town and tear stuff up, there's probably going to be some fees to clean up. But obviously there's
to approve Pleasant Hill's inclusion in the 2025 Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 Regional Hazardous Mitigation Plan.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, roll call, please.
Mayor, I will just clarify, it's not on the front of the agenda, but this is resolution number 25-19. It's in the packet.
Oh, it's like, I don't see that.
No, it's not titled that way on the agenda, but it is in the packet. Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Newberry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doomer.
Yes.
thank you.
Casey Vintage Realty, and the address is 124 South First Street. And I will give you each a packet, kind of follow along as we're talking. Okay, the cover has a nice little statement that I liked. No one should have to travel to visit beautiful places. We must invest in making our own towns livable and lovable. Kind of makes sense with what we're talking about. We kind of want to make our place a little prettier. So page 2, I wanted to kind of read you a story of how Gray's Lot became Probably many people in this room remember that event. The wall that caved in was load bearing, and the second story above it started coming down. By the next day, the entire roof had collapsed. Firefighters and police officers evacuated the area, secured the buildings, and closed the north end at first. A structural company was hired to evaluate. The structural expert stated that the building might be salvageable, but couldn't say if it would be economically feasible to repair it, meaning that cost would be higher likely than the worth of doing it. Construction workers tried to save the adjoining buildings. Officials feared the remaining buildings could fall domino style. Ultimately, the decision was made to take down the remaining structures, leaving a large empty space we now call I like to recommend a simple, easy solution to make it the opposite of that. So the summary of the project is the Pleasant Hill Historic District is requesting City Council approval to activate the space on Gray's Lot by adding 2 outdoor gazebos for creative and temporary placemaking. Pleasant Hill Historic District, we have already approved the expenditure to purchase, install, furnish, decorate, and maintain those gazebos. I do have pictures that I will show you, bigger pictures, and you have them in your packet as well. The gazebos will have furniture, seating, solar lighting, hanging baskets, beauty. Lot into a vibrant community hub. They have the ability to beautify the downtown immediately. It will not take long to put them up. Build pride in the community, bring people together in all weather, improve the quality of life of residents, workers, visitors, promote play, recreation, respite, enjoyment, many things. It will serve the bike community and the walking community so they can have somewhere to go, gather, and get out of the sun. It will also support all those downtown events that you know about that we have, which are the markets, the block parties, the pop-ups, the parades, performances, Christmas, all of the things, those So that's what it looks like. It was a little bit naked. We had done a few things to it. The historic district had added 6 benches and planters around it and planted in them, kind of pretty it up a level. Last year in 2024, we also added picnic tables. And each time that we did something, we watched use come. So we put the tables out and people started using them, which was very nice. So we're getting somewhere. We're moving in the right direction. It's still pretty naked over there. Your next sheet in there will show you what we did this year. So we actually did in the afternoons, people started using this, and which kind of led us to where we're at tonight, which we'd like to put up a little more and test that out and watch them use it. So, next page in your flyer shows you what those buildings are that we're talking about. They're in a box gazebos. They come from Home Depot. They are, let me get my specs out so I don't misspeak. The brand is Norwood. The buildings are 12 by 16 all cedar wood structures. Let's see, they're heavy duty steel roof, 29 gauge galvanized steel.
We like the specs of this one better. We just feel like the reviews are there, the quality is there, they'll stand up, but they are temporary. They're going to allow us to test and see how people use them, serve all of those community events and the like. There's a link at the bottom of that page if anyone wanted to click through and see more detailed into it than we have here. And then that next light them up and use them for all the events. We think it'll be gorgeous, it'll be cool, and it'll get a lot of use. Questions?
The picture shows like cement or pavers or anything. You said this is gonna be grass. How's the gazebo going to attach and not?
Great question. It attaches in concrete, so
Piers instead of a pad.
Right.
100%.
You're just gonna have to forgive my ignorance here.
No.
But I thought, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I thought that Gray's Lot eventually, the farmer's market was gonna be put on Gray's Lot. Am I wrong?
So I'll answer that one. We had the discussion on whether the farmer's market would end up on Gray's Lot. There wasn't consensus with the council because there was still this, we would like to explore whether infill development made the most sense. And we medium space and almost like that iterative planning to see if it gets utilized, see what the space ultimately looks
So
like.
even with these gazebos, they could eventually move the farmer's market there.
Oh, yeah.
These are
That's what I-
temporary structures, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or be part of it.
I mean, even
Yeah.
leaving the gazebos there, you could have the farmer's market.
That is not out of the question to leave that into the design, depending on, the specs of that building. And that'll be for the engineers and people to draw those things out for us and show us how that would kind of navigate. But yeah, it's just it's an inexpensive, quick way to get something up that is durable and beautiful and watch the use of it.
That's fire pits, thank you. They would still be able to do that down there, because I think that's one of those hallmark moments that you see down there when you go down there at Christmas time, and you've got the fire
Still
pits.
would have.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
And I think ultimately, Pat, that's part of it, is that the space, the intent is that the space can still be utilized for community events. This is just what happens on the days when there's not something else there,
I
a
like
little
it.
bit
I
more.
mean,
So
I
it's kind
think
of
you guys
the
put some good work into it.
arrangement.
If it was snowing or raining, somebody couldn't escape underneath.
You
We would put the fire pits
there,
underneath.
the beer tin
Right.
under there.
Vendor markets, it would just require a little bit of a shift of furniture, which is really easy. It's not going to be anything too permanent
in there.
And how about storage and stuff for the furniture and stuff in the winter months? Is there a plan for that?
We actually have a storage unit. The historic district has leased a storage unit, and we in and out with that all the time for our events, for our games, for our Christmas. We've got a ton of Christmas, and we're adding to that each year. So great question. Yes, we have a place for it.
And as far as the city mowing Gray's Lot, is the city okay with moving all of that every week when you have to mow Gray's Lot?
It's gonna be a challenge, I haven't seen the design, so I don't know where.
Hold on one sec.
I lost it.
Okay, so when the they would be willing to absorb that cost for us for that specific reason.
You know, we have debated on multiple lots downtown on what to do, what not to do with them. We had someone that wanted to expand and the building and do some additional parking downtown, and that stalled because we always come back to, well, what if someday somebody wanted to build there? And 5 years later, it's
Well, I was
just
gonna
a
say,
lot.
I've been on the council now 3 years, and I think we've talked about this.
That. So we'll leave those spaces where they are right now and continue adding places that bring people down. We want to be that town that you've seen on the 41 News who has taken an interest in us lately. And they show pictures of us and people come, not just at Parkville and Overland Park and the other cool places, they come to Pleasant Hill.
So would people be able to rent the gazebos for like a birthday party or?
Not out of the question. I would think that that would be something that we could probably partner with community betterment on. I'm thinking, because they're sort of in the all the things.
If it was approved today, how soon do you think it would be before it would be up and going?
If we order the building in the morning, it's generally delivered within a week. And then when it hits the ground here, we've got a team ready to put it in.
So one of the questions we looked at, does it fit the plan? And one of the components of the comprehensive plan is bringing in all the other plans. And the historic district plan 2014, I believe is that one. That's where it has this Gray's Lot slotted as a farmer's market. That's where those discussions come out. So I mean, it is part of ongoing plan.
Nature, we think that would add a lot of interest for people that would come down with a bicycle or for an afternoon or whatever that looks like, and have a place to go with cover, with any weather, and just make us look more hospitable. And yeah, personality-wise, I think it gives us a needed lift.
Get events off the streets, so we're not closing streets.
Yes. No closing of the streets.
All right, any other questions from council? Thank you. If anyone from the public would like to comment, please step up, state your name and address, please.
This is a quick question. I think it's great. I mean, I think it'll really help down there. Carl Murray, I'm here in North County Street. from community betterment now, or how does that work? Because that is where almost all events, not just us, not just downtown Pleasant Hill, I mean, the Ryan Scobie's car, all that stuff happens in Gray's lot. And so if that's going to change, I would like to know if that's planning on changing.
I don't see a need to change that, it just goes to the city.
So it still goes through and we can use the furniture, we can use the gazebo.
Those are discussions we can have, but me personally, I don't see a change in how we do for that lot, so.
That's great, thank you.
Just like we have a gazebo
Carla,
over here.
Thank you for bringing that up. What we want to do with that is make it inclusive. We don't want to make it exclusive and only this group or only this event or any of that is inclusive. It is for Pleasant Hill.
Well, as long as the city
For
council is
sure.
still doing that part, then it's great.
Yeah.
Second of, if you are approving, I guess, to move forward with the use of the lot as presented tonight, if that's what you also choose.
Do I have a motion on the proposed improvements to Graves Lot?
I'll make a motion to approve the improvements on Gray's Lot.